Hey, how are you? This is going to be a real quick live. I don't know if you saw the news today, but the United States is evacuating their citizens that live in Taiwan because tensions are rising too quickly with China. Just FYI, guys. Hi, Prana. Hi, Linda. So, for the United States, as lax as our government is in many areas, and how long it takes them to get anything done in any type of an expedient manner, they are in the process of evacuating U.S. citizens from Taiwan. So, what does that mean? It means China's pissed, and more than likely we're going to start seeing, in my opinion, more interaction between China and Taiwan. As y'all know, China's been wanting that area for quite a while. But what does it mean on supply chain? Okay, a lot of our chips were coming from Taiwan, and regardless, I know Biden had his little things that he passed and all this, and that we were going to make chips in the United States, which question, why have we been making them outside of the United States in the first place? And pharmaceuticals, too, with that being said. But if China does invade Taiwan, what are the natural resources that not only the United States but the world depends on Taiwan for? Excuse me. So the chips in the auto industry, things like that, could be affected. Not to mention those chips. What else are those chips in? Not just cars. Those chips are put in so many things regarding electronics. So heads up, friends. They are evacuating the citizens out of Taiwan, the United States citizens, because of ongoing and more heated situation with China. Yeah. And medicine. We're going to start seeing so many different things. What other countries are over in that area that could be affected as far as exporting, importing goods? Will they have to go around another way? Is that going to take longer for supply chain and products to get to us? Not trying to fearmonger at all. This is a reality. This is what's going on. This is what we experienced in COVID with shortages. And so we should be prepared. We've lived through this, but now it's a whole different animal. So we do have to be prepared on what we know can happen, what we've gone through, and what may happen that we haven't gone through. I know growing up, I was very fortunate. I had not experienced any type of war until I was in my mid-20s. And unfortunately, the generation since, there's always been a war, but that war has always been far away, and a lot of people aren't affected, but a lot of people are. So I'm not saying, but China's a superpower, and honestly, we've become very lax in our military, and what we're giving a lot of weapons away to a country that is fighting Russia. And how's our stock? But anyways, back to those chips. We're not making them here yet. One of those big manufacturers that our administration boasted about, and they got pats on the back and all that good stuff, they haven't even broke ground yet. Because that is about an hour away from me. And they haven't even broke ground. So we're not making, in that plant, we're not making any chips. And that was one of the largest raising their red flag, prancing around. We passed this, and it's going to go through, and we're going to be more dependent on the United States and not sourcing it out. We're going to be self-sufficient. No, we're not. No, we're not. So I just wanted to, I was actually very shocked that they had moved to a point of evacuation. Because if you think about things in the Middle East, holy shit. Benghazi. Were they really evacuating then? Maybe they learned from past lessons. I don't know. But we're going to be doing lives on what we can do to have in our homes that possibly could be affected with supply chain moving forward, things that we want to look at, alternatives, what we can make in our own home to make sure that we have what we need in the event supply chain does get affected with this. It's scary, but it's been coming, guys. It's been coming, and we are so distracted. Hi, Holly. How are you? Glad to have you, sweetheart. We've been so distracted. I mean, have you noticed all the alien stuff? Frickin' MSM! CNN's even reporting about the aliens. They think that's news, So there's always something to distract you from, other things. There's, just don't focus on one thing, friends. But I just wanted to do this really quick live. Do your own research, God is good. God is good. And God also helps those who help themselves, too. We can't depend on someone else to take care of us. We have to be able to take care of ourselves. And if you're not familiar with how to make your own medicine, I have videos among videos on my files. You can find out how to make your own medicine, how to make your own natural antibiotic, how to make an antifungal that is an antibiotic for fungal infections, bacterial infections. All those are in there. Heart health, diabetes, colds, flu, bronchitis, coughing, all sorts of videos, friends. Tells you the herbs, tells you how to make them. And the odds are we probably will see some medical shortages. Hell, we just saw a shortage with antibiotics not too long ago. We just saw a shortage of asthma medicine not too long ago. Over-the-counter cough, flu for children, for adults. This shouldn't be that far from our memory. And now if there is a possibility, and we are removing the United States citizens out of Taiwan right now, we're going to see issues. How about almost one cheap bottle? You know what it is. How about almost one cheap bottle? I don't know. I don't know. And if I just said something that, said something bad, TikTok, I'm sorry, I have no idea what they're talking about. Anyway, Well, thank you, Rhonda. Oh, the sea? The that thing? Yeah, there's another distraction. Huh. I just thought of something. And it may have nothing to do with anything, friends. But talking about distraction, political arena. What just happened in the political arena? Who did they indict? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Look over here, because we don't want you to see what's going over here. Look over here. Let me focus you over here, because there's shit over here that you don't need to worry about. Well, thank you, Prana. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. And just an FYI. Well, hi, Joanne. Thanks for joining. And for those who were on there, and we talked about the skincare and making your own skin tightening, guys. If you haven't seen my video on what my eyeballs looked like at the end of December, they're real bad. But I make my own skin tightening. And that's not even the one that I want to boast about. The one I want to boast about is the Monroe effect. It's marvelous. But anyway, I do have a website if you want to buy any of that stuff. Time to Heal. It's in my link bio. But anybody who was on the Zoom and we talked about testing out my prototype, they went out in the mail today. I don't know, Joanne. It's a bunch of bullshit. Excuse my language, guys. I try to always be very mindful of everyone's sensitivities, but it's bullshit. Because the reason, number one, the first mistake was we used to make a lot of medication in Puerto Rico. So just FYI, guys, I work for a healthcare system. We used to make a lot of our medications in Puerto Rico, which is a territory of the United States. Okay? We can't get cut off, basically, by another company coming into Puerto Rico saying, well, you can't sell that, you can't ship that, we're going to take over. Unless there's an all-out now war. Okay, so they stopped doing that. They decided they wanted to go to cheap labor. And they start sending these companies, start moving to areas where they could have cheaper labor. They're not required by any overseer for cleanliness, for bacterial testing, you know. So now they're over in areas far away, and when we have war and when we have shipping issues or dock workers want to go on strike, which out on the West Coast in Long Beach, I haven't checked on it yet today, but the last time I checked, they, meaning the dock worker union, they were threatening to go on strike, which the railroad did step in and said, hey, we're going to go ahead and reroute and try to make up for losing the possible dock workers on the West Coast. And I do get updates because I am in the medical field and I work in purchasing, which is supply chain. So now with the United States removing their citizens from Taiwan because of escalating tension from China, again, do your own research. Find out, number one, what countries are around there. Because it's just not Taiwan's going to be affected. It's going to be all those little countries. Figure out your shipping routes. What else is going to be affected on your shipping routes? And, There are a few things we already know we get from Taiwan. And, they're not going to say, yeah, it's okay, go ahead, ship those out to the United States, meaning China. If, in fact, they do decide to try to take over Taiwan, and President Biden has made it very clear that we would stand behind them. And Taiwan, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all. I'm not. Any of you who are old enough to remember when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait and babies were taken out of incubators because they wanted the incubators in their own country. And, that's a horrible thing to see happen, to a country. Well, your 12-year-old grandson, good for him. Good for him to keep up on things. It's scary, but we can't put our head in the ground. And like I said, just because something's going on over here, remember there's other shit going on over here. They try to distract you sometimes. And we do get distracted, Kind of like multitasking. Some people just can't multitask. And it's hard to focus on everything that's going on around. Anyway, friends, I just wanted to, I was somewhat shocked. I ain't no somewhat about it. I was shocked. I feel like my stomach went up to my throat when I read that we were evacuating our citizens. Oh, well, thanks. I got that little Elvis Presley going on today. I've had it up for days. That's what it is. It's been up. And I thought I probably should take it down. It's not good for your hair to keep it up. Breaks it. I mean, I do take it out at night. I brush it, rub my scalp to get the blood flow going to my scalp so that it can help it grow. And then I put a leave-in conditioner in, and then I wrap it back up and put it in on top of my head when I sleep. But, yeah, it kind of shocked me. I mean, guys, remember Afghanistan that happened a few years ago? They pulled the military out before they told the citizens. They're not good at these things. They're very slow. They're not, when I say they, I'm talking about the current administration. They kind of do things very slow and half-ass backwards on standard protocol. But now they're pulling out our citizens out of Taiwan. But, canning. Just did a video yesterday on water bath canning. It's a lost skill, guys. That is so easy for everyone to do. Everyone could do that. It just consists of cleaning some jars, getting a big stock pot, putting the stuff that you want to can in your jar. It has to be a high acidic item. So, cherries, strawberries. My video has a list of all those other things. And, yeah, they pulled them out of Russia a while ago. But you put that high acidic food in your jar. Add whatever liquid you want in there with it. Put your lids on, your flat top lid, your screw lid. Just finger tight. Don't screw that screw lid on there so tight, because when it starts boiling, it gets that pressure inside that jar. That flat lid's going to buckle, and then you're going to have siphoning all over inside. It's going to leak everywhere. It's going to buckle. So it's just fingertip tight. You want that pressure inside that jar to be able to cook, to move around. It's going to boil inside that jar. And then when you take it out, the temperature from outside versus inside that pot when it was canning, it's going to suction it. And that's when you hear them jars going ping, 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 because it's doing it's just suctioning it in. It's doing a pressure, suction. But get things on your shelves, It's the best thing to do, guys. We're going to start doing more videos Once we get used to water bath canning, once I have enough videos that everybody feels comfortable with water bath canning, then we're going to do the pressure canner. And a lot of people are scared about that because it does have a lot of steam buildup in it. But there's no need to. Once you do it for the first time, you're like, wow, that one's so scary. And then nowadays, they even have the electric pressure canners, guys. You just hit a couple buttons and you can walk away. It's not one of those, the old-fashioned sit on the stove or, you know, and it's a rockin' and stuff up like that. And Joanne, that's a great thing to do. We should start, and I have been. I've been stocking up, and I also use my stock. Don't get me wrong. You know, if we want to make something, I'm like, hey, well, don't we have any of that downstairs? Oh, yeah. But then you got to replace it. And that's where a lot of people get confused when we say we have to stock up. You still use that stock. You're not going to let that food sit there unused for 20 years. Not when our economy's so crappy and you don't have money to go to the store, or you have an emergency, somebody loses a job. That's also prepping. Prepping for the unknown. You know, we've lost jobs, and thank goodness we've had that stock. And I'm not having a $200, $300 a week bill, which is horrible. I saw a creator do a haul from a store. It was $800. I am in Ohio. I am in Ohio. And so with gardens going on now, guys, hit your farmers markets. They're not going to be spraying. Hopefully, talk to the grower. Find out what they use, if they use any pesticides or anything on their crops, what they use. They're more than happy to tell you because they're proud of it. If they are organic, they're going to know it and they're going to share it because they're going to be proud that they're organic and natural. Bill and Linda Gates backed that one stupid new thing they're spraying on food. It's called A-Peel. And there's stickers out there. They've got even this weird, I don't even remember what the name of it. It's this weird crap that they're making in laboratories that's fake salad or something. And they're selling it in restaurants right now. Restaurants can serve it. And I'm sure it's a lot cheaper for them. I don't know. I try to grow all my shit and can it. And I go to farmers markets. I try not to buy anything Sam's, Myers, Kroger's, Walmart, you know, Aldi's. I will buy my fruits and vegetables at Aldi's. But they're a German-owned company, too. They don't, you know, really listen to Bill Gates. But anyway, friends, I have babbled off enough. I just had to hop on here because I was somewhat concerned about the United States evacuating their citizens out of Taiwan because of escalating tensions with China. So with that being said, guys, let's think about it. Let's prepare. What are we going to need to do? What are we going to need to stock up on? What comes out of those countries, you know? I used to live in Cincinnati, as a matter of fact, Joanne. I lived over in the Eastgate area. What was it? Milford area. Over there on the east side of Cincinnati. And I now live in Central Ohio. I live about an hour north of Columbus now. But, friends, please follow. Again, I've got videos. How can you make your own medicine? What herbs are good for what? I even have on my website, it's timetoheal.net. The link is in my bio. I do sell tinctures that are 100% organic, made here on site. 6-week process. Oh, well, thank you, sweet pea. Thank you very much. But I do have tinctures. I also give you the recipes in these videos if you want to make them yourself. If you don't want to mess around with making them, you can buy them from me. But with that being said, why I brought this up, actually, my website up, is on my products list. At the very, very, very bottom of my products list, you're going to find a PDF. And it's a downloadable PDF that has ailments from, let's say, asthma, headaches, A to Z. I mean, it's a 7-page document, if that tells you anything. It has a lot of information. In one column, it lists all the ailments, troubles you may have. And on the other column, it tells you the multiple herbs for each issue you may be having. You can download it on your phone, you can download it to your computer, you can print it out. In the event you can't use your computer, in the event you can't use your phone, I would definitely suggest that you print that out. Hocus Pocus is good. I mean, it really is. It has St. John's wort in it, and it has valerian root in it. Anyone 6 years old and older can take it. The only contraindication would be if you are on any antidepressants or anything like that. St. John's wort is God's natural anxiety, depression. So you wouldn't want to take a Western pharmaceutical along with nature's natural resolution to that. So if you are interested in that download, you can go to my site, Time to Heal, and you will have at your fingertips what you need to be able to heal yourself in the event you can't get the medicine. And there are videos again on how to make your own medicine. So, but if you don't want to do it, you can get it from me. Friends, I am going to hop off here. This was just a, hey guys, the United States is evacuating their U.S. citizens out of Taiwan. It was out kind of live because it kind of freaked me out. And I am still kind of freaked out about it, if you want to know the truth. I'm really anxious to get off here, and I'm going to do my research on what they're exporting out of Taiwan and the countries around there, so that I can see what I need to be prepared with, seeing shortages on and possibly needing to stock up on those things. So I am going to hop off here, guys. Look it up, guys. Let's be prepared. Don't suffer. Thank you, Rhonda. Have a good day, friends. And the hair is looking pretty on point. Don't forget to check out my site, guys. Thyme, Thyme, like the herb, because that's what it's all about. It's using what Mother Nature, God gave us on this planet to heal ourselves, to do preventative maintenance, to take care of things before they get out of hand. If your family has a history of heart disease, don't wait until you have an issue. You know, look at barberries. Barberries are naturally, clinical studies show barberries can remove the plaque from your arteries and veins. So, you know, little things like that, but you got to know how to absorb those things into your body. And in the case of barberries, it is stinging nettle. You can make your own tincture. I do have a heart health tincture out there, and we are going to be making the barbarian stinging nettle tincture here soon on one of my lives coming up. So make sure you follow. You guys have a good day, and be safe, guys. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.